600 and something. Do you agree?
No.
No, you don't agree?
We believe. No, hold on one second. Let's clarify. We believe that all the prophets were Muslims, right?
Okay.
Muslim or Islam means someone who submits their will to God, right? So we say, Jesus never said that your religion today is Christianity. He never said this. There's nowhere in the New Testament where Jesus says, your religion is Christianity, so therefore follow Christianity.
What does it mean, Christianity?
Someone who follows Christ.
Very good.
Right. So as a religion,
if people are following Christ, they are Christians. Do you agree?
in the hypothetical sense, yes, but I don't believe Christians are Christians because they don't follow Christ. I don't believe this. Then that's debatable, and I'm happy to discuss that. And it's laughable, but I can substantiate it.
You're not having any grounds of communications here.
No, I am very much so, very much so.
All right, carry
very
on.
much so. I'm coming up with very large claims, and I am very happy to put my neck on the guillotine to prove what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's all right. Carry on.
Right? What's going on? Yeah. Anyway, right. I'll get to that point in a second. Right. The divinity of Jesus cannot be substantiated from the New Testament. We can acknowledge this. And what I was saying to you before, John 10:30 says, Jesus said, I and my Father are one. You said, how is it you as a Muslim can tell us how I should explain the Christian faith? Is what you said, right? But I don't think there's anything wrong if I have the wrong understanding of something and you corrected my understanding, irrespective of what belief I hold, I would consider what the alternative understanding it could be, right?
We don't disagree.
And this is where we have to lay aside our pride, right? And even with me, I have to lay aside my pride if someone's correcting me about my religion, but they happen to not be a Muslim. And I'm all open for that. So when Jesus says, I and my Father are one, there's only two ways you can understand this verse. And then I would like for you to correct me if I'm wrong at this point, right? Number one, you can either understand it in its literal sense, right? That Jesus and God are one physical entity, right? In which case, Jesus and the Father died on the cross. And I know as a Christian, you don't believe that the Father dies, right? When Jesus said, my Father, why have you, Eli, Eli, limada sabachthani? Why have you forsaken me, right? Jesus is here calling upon someone else, right? And if you believe that the Father and Jesus are one, that means he was calling upon himself. And I'm sure he don't believe that neither. He's calling upon himself. He's calling upon another entity. And we know that the Father doesn't die. So when Jesus said, I and my Father are one, it cannot be one in essence. It cannot be one in physical being. So there's an alternative understanding to that, which is the understanding that I adhere to or follow, which is when Jesus said, I and my Father are one, they share the same unity and they share the same purpose. That's the word I was looking for.
Purpose.
They share the same purpose.
What does it mean?
For example, when God, we believe that Jesus is a prophet of God, right? And God sent down the revelation to Jesus. And his mission was to carry out that message to the children of Israel, right? Jesus said, Matthew chapter 15 verse 24, I was not sent except unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, right? So Jesus had a fundamental message to the Jewish people alone. Jesus' message is restricted to the Jewish people only, according to Jesus himself. In Matthew chapter 10 verse 5, Jesus said, do not go in unto the way of the Gentiles, rather go in unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So the purpose that is being served here is that they share the same purpose with respect to the message that's been revealed to the people, right? And that is what I mean, is that they share the same purpose in that respect, right? However, we do not believe that the Father and Jesus are one in essence or in divine being, because that means that Jesus died on the cross and the Father died on the cross, and that would be a blasphemous statement to make, right?
Hamza.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much for explaining your view. I really appreciate that. And here, I'm going to tell you a few things to answer what you've said. It's up to you to believe them or not. But furthermore, you cannot keep on playing this ping pong, because there is no point of it. You will keep on believing what you believe, and I will keep on believing what I believe. All right? All right, few things. You're taking verses out of context. So when Jesus said, I'm here for the house of Israel, you're absolutely correct. But in another verse he said, go and preach to the whole world. These are two different verses. Is he contradicting himself? No, he's completing himself. What does it mean? The Bible is one entity. The Jesus statements are one entity. He's not contradicting himself. There is a purpose and a meaning why he said this verse at this time. Then he carried on the message. So Jesus was not just here for the Jewish people. Jesus came from the Jewish nation, yes, but he was not just here for the Jewish people.
So would you allow me to respond afterwards?
No, because there is no point.
Why?
Because
That's not fair.
No, it is fair because we will keep on playing ping pong up until we die.
That's fine, but but I think it's only fair because you're saying are there contradictions, and I disagree with you because what you're talking about is the Great Commission. You're talking about the Great Commission where Jesus said to his disciples, right?
So did he heal Gentiles during his mission on earth? He did.
Hold on one second. You quoted the Great Commission, right? And you said, are there fundamental differences?
Okay, carry on.
Right. The Great Commission is where, this is where the whole baptism comes into play, right? Jesus said, go and preach the nation, go to preach the nation, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? Go out to all the nations. Sorry, that's the verse you're quoting, right? Go out to all the nations and baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? So what you are saying is that, well, Jesus said in Matthew 15 verse 24, he was only sent to the children of Israel, but in Matthew chapter 5, I think, I'm not sure.
That's not what I've said, by the way. You've said that he was only sent to the children of Israel. Because of this verse. I said this verse was taken out of context to give this message.
No.
What I've said is, he said that at that time.
But you never allowed me to complete.
He said that at that time for a specific
No,
purpose.
and I disagree with you. And the reason why I disagree with you...
Hamza, you can disagree till tomorrow. That wouldn't change my understanding of it.
It could do. It could do, but you have to allow me to elaborate and finish. Right. So the Great Commission is that when Jesus said, go out to the nations and preach the gospel to all the nations, right? There's two ways that could be understood. That could be taken literally, right? In which case it will contradict Matthew 15 verse 24. It will. Because if you have one verse that says, go out to all the nations and preach the gospel, right? And you have another verse where Jesus says, I was only sent to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's an internal contradiction in itself. So there's only one way to unify these two verses, right? Is that, number one, what we find is that Peter was not baptizing them in this threefold formula, right? Peter was only baptizing in the name of the Father alone, right? In fact, it's in the Bible. It's in the Bible. Should I show you? Okay. Peter was only baptizing in the name of the Father, right? Alone, right? And according to the Grolier Encyclopedia states that the verse where it speaks about the Great Commission is an interpolated verse, meaning it's an additional verse, because it contradicts Matthew chapter 10 verse 5, and it also contradicts Matthew 15 verse 24. Now, as regards to Peter baptizing in the name of the Father alone, I will show you, right?
What about John 3:16?
What about it?
It's for the whole world. John 3:16 is for
God, Son
the
of the world.
whoever.
Okay, yes. What we find in Acts 2 verse 38, what we find is that Peter was only baptized in the name of Jesus. I take that back. He was only baptizing in the name of Jesus. He was not baptizing in the name of the threefold
He
formula.
said, believe in the name of Jesus and you will be saved. Get baptized, yeah?
Hold on, let me get the verse up very quick. Acts 2:38.
The question here, do you believe that the Bible doesn't have any contradictions?
Yes.
So if I've showed you numerical contradictions in the Bible, what do you say about it?
That they are not true?
Correct. You have a Bible?
Yes, I do.
Correct.
I think we are going on two different subjects here.
correct. Just, it's been a lovely discussion.
No, you're right. Look,
It's been a lovely discussion. I really appreciate your time. There are three things to prove that Jesus was God. One, he claimed that he was God, to the point where he was killed by the Jews. Jesus was killed by the Jews because they understood from his own sayings that he was blaspheming, claiming that he's God. Otherwise, the Jews wouldn't have killed him. The Jews wanted to kill Jesus, and it said across all of the Bible.
but that was based on an accusation.
No.
You just said that. You just said just now that they accused him. Sorry, I know you're trying to round up, but
Because we've been talking for too
I
long.
have-
Okay.
We're going to carry on. And there is no point.
okay, look, it's nice speaking
So
to
let
you.
me tell you the 3
Okay,
points,
okay.
and then I will leave you for it.
In a minute.
Which I know that you have your answers to, so I'm just going to say them, and it's up to you there. Okay. So the first one, Jesus confirmed that he was God. When he accepted people worshipping him, that's claiming to be God. When Jesus said, I am,
Worship, okay.
the I am statement, that's referring to Moses, Exodus, Yahweh, when he said, I am who I am. Jesus said 7 statements of saying, I am.
Yes.
When the Jews told him, before Abraham, he replied, before Abraham,
I am.
I am. He's claiming, he's pointing to Yahweh. The miracles that Jesus did, we have not heard of. So Jesus claimed to be God, saying that he was not crazy. The people around him believed that he was God. They were worshipping him. The Jews confirmed that he was God because that's why they wanted to kill him.
Okay.
The high priest, when Jesus was speaking, why are you shaking your head?
No, brother, please, hold on. Let him continue. Let him
They
finish.
believe that he blasphemed.
Bro,
saying
continue
that
what
he's
you're
God.
saying. Continue what you're saying, and I'm going to respond to you. And then we, if you want to call it a day at that point, we
We're
can.
going to call it a day. I'm just explaining to you. The Jews said that Jesus blasphemed, claiming that he's God. That's why they wanted to kill him.
Okay,
Let me finish.
go ahead.
The people around him believed that he's God, and that's why they were worshipping him. The miracles that he did, the miracles themselves that he did, healing or creating eyes for a blind man, not done before. Raising people from the dead,
Bro,
raising
please let him
people from
finish.
the
Let him
dead,
finish, brother. Please let him finish.
didn't happen before. Turning water into wine didn't happen before. All of these miracles are showing that Jesus was God.
Okay. Right. Very briefly. Very briefly.
Moses didn't
Brother.
do the same.
Very briefly.
بعصى الله.
Oh my gosh, brother,
No,
please.
بعصى الله. There is a difference. Jesus doing the miracles by the power of himself.
Brother,
the
please,
power
hold
of
on, brother,
himself.
hold on. I want to respond to his point.
There is a
I want to
difference
respond to his
between
point.
making a miracle by your power and making a miracle by the power of
Can you
God.
make a miracle
Okay,
by
can
the
I
power?
I just want to respond to
So
very
this is the first point. The second point is the eyewitness testimony. Who are the eyewitness? The many people around him that we can put into tests, where they integrity test. These people say the truth. For example, people who has written about the story of Jesus lived approximately. They've written the Bible, the Gospel, around 30 years between the events that happened to the Gospels being written. Let me finish. I'm so sorry.
But you're mentioning a lot of points I want to, because what I'm going to
These
do.
are the points.
No, that's fine.
These are
I
the-
completely.
Hamza, you're telling me your Jesus is not God. I'm telling you why my Jesus
I
is
respect-
God
I completely-
from outside the Bible.
I completely
And
get
you have
that.
to take it a day after
No,
day.
that's fine. But what I'm saying,
So you're telling me I cannot prove that Jesus is God. I'm telling you the proof that Jesus from outside the Bible. These are outside the Bible.
brother, please.
Mahmoud. These are outside the Bible. Hamza,
You
let me
said
finish.
Jesus received worship. I just want, because what it is, because you're mentioning a lot of points and I'm going to forget some of the points you're raising. So what I'm saying is that you mentioned that Jesus received worship, right? And you said that's evidence for Jesus being God.
Hamza.
Yeah.
I know all of your counter arguments.
No, you don't.
No, I do.
We've never spoken.
Habibi, I know all of the Muslim counter arguments way before we
No,
talk.
but you don't know.
I do know.
Okay, what am I going to say?
It doesn't matter.
It does matter because you're accusing me of saying.
I'm not accusing you. I'm telling you, I know your counter arguments, and I can recite.
What is my counter argument?
I can recite back the defense, and we keep on going back and forth up until tomorrow.
We've never met.
we've never met, but I know what you're going to say because you're not here to listen, Hamza. You're here to debate.
No,
There is no
no.
point of the
We are
debate.
having a discussion.
Just
We're
let
having
me finish. Second point is the eyewitness testimony. These people who has written about the Bible were alive at the time of the Bible. They have seen all of these things. These tests, these eyewitness testimony, you can put them under test. Test, for example, by checking the area, checking the things that they have written. Are these things true or are they far away from the truth? They spoke about different names, for example, that people were evident at the time. All of these tests are proving that the eyewitness testimony was true. The coherent test of the eyewitness, all their testimony, is it coherent or are they saying different message? Or is their testimony contradicting one another? All of these tests are true. So we had Jesus himself saying that he's God. We say the eyewitness testimony. And the final point, which I know that you will fully disagree with, that Jesus rose from the dead. Can you prove his resurrection from outside the Bible? Yes. The very simple, very simple question. You say, one,
Sorry.
شُبِّهَ لَهُ. هو ما ماتش. He didn't die on that cross. شُبِّهَ لَهُ. I ask you, how, where, when? Who was that guy?
Go.
There is no point.
I think that's very unfair because
I know you're going to say everything.
I think that's unfair because we've
You
never.
say Jesus, شُبِّهَ له.
No,
He didn't die.
brother, you never. First of all, you've never met me in your entire
didn't.
existence. So it's very
met many
unfair.
Muslims
It's very
friends.
unfair for you to
Very
assume.
similar.
Now, hold on one second. No, you see again, you're assuming. You're assuming that I'm going to bring up a very regurgitated same argument as Muslims do.
This is a verse in your Quran.
No, I'm not disputing the Shubbalahum. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the very beginning. You said quite a few things. And I just want to very briefly, I just want to respond to some of them. At least some of them. Right?
So you can respond, but I'm not going to respond back.
That's fine.
Because
That's fine.
I can respond back, and then you're going to respond
That's
back.
fine. And let's hear me out then. Just hear
I
me
haven't
out.
finished.
Well, you're going, okay.
I haven't finished. I told you I'm going to tell you 3 points. Let me finish them, and that's it. The third point is the resurrection of Jesus. He died on that cross. Yes, he did. How? Because he was the one captured that night. At no point the guards left Jesus. He was taken from a place all the way to that cross. If you're telling me someone else replaced him, who replaced him? How did he replace him? When did he replace him? And why would you replace him?
Why? I have an answer.
Right, okay. So
You didn't answer when.
let's go through.
Let me finish, please.
Okay,
Let me
continue.
finish.
When are you going on? Are you? It sounds like it's
I have to
forever.
finish. I'm telling you everything and then I need to finish. So, did he die? Yes, he did. The crucifixion was known to be the most brutal death.
No, I disagree.
That's up to you. I'm telling you, I know the counter argument.
He is preaching.
It's up to you. I'm not preaching.
It sounds like it because you're not allowed to respond.
And you are not allowing me to respond when he said you don't believe in this. This is your personality. I'm telling you, this is what I believe in.
Go.
So, did he die? Yes, he died. If you're saying someone else died, fine. Where is the body of this person that died? Because we have an empty tomb. This empty tomb is by itself proof that Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus rose. There is no one in that tomb. You say, or the Jews say, the body was taken, the body was stolen. Fine, the body was stolen. Where?
Okay.
The Jews that themselves didn't want Jesus to rise from the dead, so they say that themselves, if Jesus rose from the dead, we don't want to believe this because it's gonna make a huge debate in the Jewish nation. Let them bring that body. They could have gone very easily to the disciples and tell the disciples, bring us the dead body.
Right.
They didn't do
Right.
that.
Okay. So there's quite a few points that you. In fact, there's
There are lots of
many points that you've raised.
Which you're going to debate every single one
No,
of
my
them.
friend. I think you're being a little unfair here.
I thank you very much for your
Yeah,
time.
I have a question.
I thank you very much.
You
for
don't
your
want a
time.
response?
I don't want a response because simply we're going
Okay.
to debate and I'm going
Okay,
to counter argue.
okay.
We've been an hour and a half.
My
We
friend,
didn't even
I think
finish
it's very,
the
I think it's
creation
very
itself.
unfair. I think it's very unfair on
It
you
is,
to
right.
make many claims,
No, I
and you
didn't
don't
make
even want a
claims.
response. That's fine. That's fine. But it's nice
Hamza,
meeting you.
I will tell you.
It's
very
very,
tiny question. Very
friend,
tiny question to end
it's,
up.
it's very nice meeting you, my friend.
If we came up to a point, will we ever come to a point where you tell me, oh, I believe what you say?
I think what you have done is no.
Will
What
you
you have
come
done,
up ever to a point?
my friend. I'm trying to respond to you, but well, you're being very insincere here. I feel because you're
I am
asking me a
very
question. I feel that you are being slightly insincere in the question you're asking, because I don't. First of all, we've never spoken before, right? And I am a sincere. I would class myself as a sincere person, right?
I'm a very
So
sincere person.
therefore, if I'm upon falsehood, I will follow the truth wherever the truth leads me. However,
I will tell you one
however,
thing
no,
to do.
hold on one second.
I will tell you
You
one-
asked me a question and you don't want the response,
Respond.
right? And I want to respond to a lot of the points you've raised.
Don't please, because that's not the point.
So then let's part ways then. It's good speaking to you. Then.
I will tell you one thing. Are you actually looking for the truth?
I believe I am upon that truth.
Very good. I want
And that's
you
the reason
every
why
single
we
day,
were discussing to see who was upon the truth or not.
But you wouldn't believe the truth.
No,
If you
see,
hear the truth.
no, that's wrong.
I will tell
I'm
you
sorry,
something
I
else
have to
to do.
correct you.
Can I tell you
I'm
something
sorry, I
else
have
to
to
do?
correct you.
If I do myself, every day you have a God that you pray to, correct? No. Listen, I'm telling you
What
something.
you've been doing has been
Listen.
you've been dictating the
I'm not-
conversation
Let him.
for at least good 15 minutes.
That's fine.
So I just want to respond.
Hamza, do you pray?
Take care of yourself.
Do you pray?
Take care of yourself.
Hamza, do you pray?
I pray every day, yes.
Very good. Can you tell God to reveal to you the truth?
I already have that truth.
Very good.
Thank
No,
you.
no. Can you pray to Him to reveal to you the truth?
My
If
friend.
you're sincere,
My friend, I am a listen.
If he's praying,
I'm
then he is in the
brother.
truth.
Please hold on
He's
one
already
second.
in that
if
position.
you're sincere,
I am a sincere. No, hold on. Let me respond to you.
sincere,
Let me respond to you.
looking for
Let
the
me
truth,
respond to you.
you can at least
Allow me.
pray
Allow
to
me to
God.
respond to you.
There is nothing wrong
I
with
do.
that.
Yes, I pray,
Is there?
and I do believe I am upon that truth. Right. However, this is the reason why we are having this discourse, this discussion, because with this discussion we can decipher who's on the truth or who's not upon the truth. And I agree with you. This is not a. I wouldn't call it a debate. I would like to call it a discussion, right? And that's the reason why that when you were bringing up all these different points, right? I wanted, hold on, hear me out. I wanted to discuss each and every point, right? From Jesus receiving worship, because of course I have a response to that. But to me,
your
it seems to
point
me,
of view.
it seems to me that you're not interested in the response. That's why I feel that you're insincere, because I'm willing to go the whole way with you to have a discussion. However, I do acknowledge that you are with a group of people, and that's fine, and I'm taking that into consideration. That's what I'm saying. We have to agree to disagree. But it was lovely speaking to you.
Can I tell you
Take
one
care of
thing?
yourself.
One
And
thing.
One
thing.
No,
I'm not-
no.
not-
Do you know
it's not a
why?
discussion.
Do you know why?
Yeah.
Because you never allowed me to respond to any of the points you raised. So
if
I'm just
you
saying,
say
with that, let's
it's
just
been an hour and a half.
let's call it a day.
We've been an hour and
Let's
a half.
call it a day, bro.
We can. You tell me something, and I will tell you something else, and you'll tell me something. and I'll
Exactly.
tell
So
you
that's what I'm
something.
saying. Let's just
You'll tell me something.
let's
and
just
I'll tell you
discuss.
something, and we'll carry on.
Inshallah. Anyway, I gotta go, man.
No, one thing.
I gotta go. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Pray, ask God for the truth.
Thank
That's
you.
it.
Take care of yourself.
You too.
I have a question.
You've got so many. That's what I think of yours, because you've got too many. Yeah. Talk about the mics. I have no idea. They need to stop leaving their mics.
حبيبي
mean, stick them like this. You see what? Stick them like this. It's gonna go.
No, I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Thank you.
talking about Israel and Judah. كم كان عددهم؟ الاساس انه اذا كان في تناقض ولا لو انت عايش
Sorry.
He will show 3.